Live from Washington, D.C. John, thank you very much for joining us here at TRT World. Many people will be watching this and wondering what has changed. They thought the impeachment inquiry had already begun.
Well, it had, but there had not been a formal vote taken. In fact, all of the proceedings so far in the House of Representatives have been noted by a lack of transparency, regularity, or fairness. Hopefully, that will change now as a result of this vote, although that remains to be unclear. But at least now everybody is on record as saying that they want to either undertake or not undertake. A majority has said they wanted to undertake this inquiry, and there have been some rules of the road laid out, and it is at least anticipated that in the near future there will be public hearings.
And what are the important rules that have come into play now?
Well, so there's going to be somebody in basically running point on this. That's Congressman Adam Schiff from California, and there are rules about who can issue subpoenas and ask questions. The rules are slightly skewed in favor of the majority party, so the Democrats can issue whatever subpoenas they want to. The Republicans, through the ranking member, have to seek permission to issue subpoenas. But at least they're going to be given an opportunity to ask questions and to seek the issuance of subpoenas. And if there are public hearings, there is at least the possibility that the president's lawyers will be able to be present and hear the evidence and participate in some form or fashion.
And John, just for the record, every single Democrat, bar two, voted to continue with the impeachment inquiry, and every single Republican, bar none, voted against it, and there was one independent, I think, who voted for it. What does that tell us about how, if it goes to the Senate, how the Republicans are likely to act?
Well, it certainly says that in contrast to past impeachment inquiries involving presidents, that this is not being done with bipartisan support. Look, I think that the odds are pretty high that the House of Representatives will impeach the president by approving articles of impeachment. And I think that the odds are pretty low that the president will be convicted and removed from office. So there are 45 Democrats and 2 independents. Assuming that all of them vote in favor of removing the president from office, you would still need to have at least 20 Republican senators cross over to reach the magic number of 67, 2/3 of the Senate, which is required to remove the president.
Okay, and John, a final question for you, a bit of a softball one, but the senior Republican in the House said that the only reason why the Democrats are going ahead with impeachment is because they fear that their candidate cannot beat President Donald Trump in 2020. I imagine you'd agree with that.
Well, I think that they have several reasons for doing that. It's actually a simple question that I think has a more complex answer. So one, I think there's an offensive purpose to the Democrats doing this. They're trying to gin up their base because they're going into an election year. And also, I think they are anticipating that there may be reports coming out of the Department of Justice's Inspector General's office and also by Attorney General Bill Barr in terms of a probe into the origins of the Trump investigation that are going to paint the Democrats potentially in a very bad light. And they are trying to take some of the sting out of those anticipated actions. So there's a lot going on, and it's very high stakes political poker that both sides are playing.
John Malcom, thank you very much for your analysis. Appreciate it. Well, it's time.